That's right. It's time for Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. Today, I'm joined by brand manager for Tops.com, Patrick O'Sullivan. How's it going, Patrick?
I'm well. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm excited to dive into this. All right. So, first things first, can you explain your job responsibilities to me and what your day to day looks like?
Yeah, well, now that we've got the baseball season back in swing, it has gotten a bit more exciting. Um, Essentially, what Tops now is taking the on-field moments that happened, in last night's game, and we'll make a card of it that goes on sale for 24 hours after. So just kind of really capturing something that is instantaneous, and when cards happen and special moments happen, we try to make that a physical card as soon as possible and really capture it. So a lot of what I do is really scouring games and trying to pick out the best moments and oversee the card production process.
That's awesome. So, what does the creative process look like when you're creating a card?
Obviously we want to make sure we're getting good imagery. The card is the visual, right? So we want to make sure we're getting a nice image of the moment and making sure that we obviously want to have rights. We want to have factual copy. We want to make sure that everything looks the part. And yeah, it really is not much different than it has been in all the decades past. It's still just ink on paper. So once we have all the all the qualifications signed off on, yeah, we'll go ahead and make a card and print off. And the special thing about Tops now is essentially once the 24 hours are up, the card has stopped printing. So we're kind of print on demand.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So, do you have one card? Like, whose card was the most fun to create? Is there one specifically that sticks out in your mind?
I personally like guys that have some fun with the camera, big personalities. If we're thinking Tigers, I love getting like a big Mickey smile. He seems to have a lot of fun on the field. So there's times where in my past positions, as an editor, I'd go through and look at just all the imagery from the season. And when you get a guy just really having a ball in the field, I like to try and show the personality of a player too.
Love it. Okay. So, what makes a good sports card outside of that imagery?
I think it's just maybe the way I see trading cards, sports cards, it's a tangible penny stock, right? If a player is doing really well in the field, that player's rookie card is the hot commodity. So what makes a real good player is something that we kind of almost can't even control. It's how a player does in the field. It's the popularity. If the team is on a hot streak or that player hits a home run or throws no hitter, all of a sudden that trading card, that thing that people have of them, it becomes desirable.
And then on top of that, if they're only printing for 24 hours, there's a limited amount, right?
Exactly right. Yep. And players, kind of come and go. So sometimes you only get a chance to get so many of them. So yeah, we try to make sure we capture them when we can.
Love it. Okay, so what got you into baseball cards? Did you collect them as a kid? Is that something you've always been passionate about?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, growing up just a sports fan in general, just collected a whole bunch of sports cards. Always leaned towards baseball, and yeah, was just a real fan of reading the back of the cards, looking at stats. Um, that's where you kind of just learn the game a little bit, especially when you're a youngster.
Do you or did you have an all-time favorite trading card of your own that you personally owned?
Gosh. You know what? Okay, so growing up in the Northeast, I wasn't the biggest Red Sox fan, but
Okay.
there was a 1991 Roger Clemens Topps card where he's leaning up against a green monster with his arms folded, looking kind of, not menacing, but just real, happy. And it's right next to the strikeout sign on the green monster, and obviously known for being a strikeout pitcher. I just thought as a kid that was the coolest looking card. So yeah, I was always drawn to photography like that.
Very cool. And I know you
Yeah.
mentioned Miggy before, but which Tigers player has had the greatest baseball card ever, in your opinion? If there's one that you can think of, a Tigers player.
I yeah, I'd have to say Al Kaline. Al Kaline is
Mm.
it's an iconic Topps card. So his rookie card was 1954,
Mm.
and it has become a mainstay in terms of iconic sports cards. Certainly very collectible, very valuable in that sense, but just also iconic and kind of harkens back to more of a retro, glory days of baseball.
Glory days of baseball. I love it. Okay, what do you think draws people to trading cards?
I think it's a mix of things. Um,
Uh-huh.
I certainly, from a personal standpoint, I know it's nostalgia, and I know it's a love for a sport, baseball. Whether it's baseball or any other sports, it's that fandom that kind of allows you to have a piece of it, especially these days when we have relic cards or autograph cards where a player has actually signed it, or there's a piece of their bat or the jersey in the card. So it's maybe making that closer connection to the game. And then some folks see it as an investment. They know a player is up and coming, and they want to get in early and know that they have their rookie card and follow their career. So yeah, I think people do it for a multitude of reasons, but hopefully it's always in fun.
Fun it is. And Patrick, it's been awesome getting to chat with you about sports cards on Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. I really appreciate your time, and I feel more knowledgeable now about trading cards.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully you add to your collection.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks again, Patrick. I appreciate it.